This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, good evening. In this Azure Databricks Master Program, this is our 24th session. In this session, we will see how to read and write the JSON files. This is very important when you are dealing with your REST APIs and all those things. You need to get you will receive the your response or result in a JSON format. Okay, so we are going to see how you can do the different transformation on JSON files. Okay, if you have a nested JSON file, how you can handle. So all those things we will see. Okay, now. So in this particular session, we will limit our discussion to how to read normal JSON files, how to read multi-line JSON files, and how you can provide the user-defined schema to these files. Okay, in tomorrow session we will do the kind of nested JSON files, how you can read and how you can transform the data. We will see. Okay, so options while reading JSON file is we have only one option is multi-line option will be there. This particular option you need to use when you are reading the multi-JSON file. Okay, what is multi-JSON file, multi-line JSON file, normal JSON file? I will show you. Okay, what is the difference between normal JSON file and the multi-line JSON file? I will show you. Okay, next. So with respect to read JSON, I will show you how to read a normal JSON file into data frame. Then we will see read multiple JSON files into data frame. Not only single file, you have multiple JSON files, how you can read these multiple JSON files into data frame. Then we will see read multiple JSON file into data frame with user defined schema. So when I am creating the data frame, I want to provide my own schema. So how you can provide your own schema, we will see. Then we are going to discuss about how to read multi-line JSON file into data frame. So I will show you, as I said, how it will look like multi-line JSON file. Okay, then read multiple multi-line JSON files into data frame. So we have a multi-line JSON files, multiple multi-line JSON files. So how you can read these multiple multi-line JSON files into the data frame? Then same, how you can read multiple multi-line JSON files into data frame with a user-defined schema. Okay, these are the things we will discuss in today's session. Then we are going to see with respect to write JSON, we will see write data frame as JSON file with append mode. With append mode, how you can write the data. In the same way, write data frame as JSON file with overwrite mode. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay, fine. Let's start with options while reading JSON file. This is the only option. What it means is this option to read records from a multiple lines, because multi-line JSON, it's nothing but a each record will be will be there in a multiple lines. So example, you are giving customer ID, customer name, and customer phone number. So all these details, if you have in a single line, that is considered as a normal JSON file. But if these details is splitted across multiple lines, then that particular JSON file is called a multi-line JSON file. Okay, we are going to see how you can read that multi-line JSON file. You see this option to read records from multiple lines. Okay, if you want to, if you have a file which has records spreaded across multiple lines, then you need to use this option. So we will see without using this option whether we will be able to read or not, what kind of error we will get, all those things I will show you next. By default, Spark considers every record in a JSON file as a fully qualified record in a single line. So because by default, Spark consider your entire record is there in a single line. Okay, that's why when your entire single record is spreaded across multiple line, you need to explicitly use this particular option saying that, hey Spark, can you just look into the multiple lines to identify a single record? But because my single record is not there in a single row. Okay, hence we need to use the multi-line option to process JSON from a multiple lines. Okay, so let's see what is normal JSON file and what is the multi-line JSON file. You see here, it's a normal JSON file. You see here, each record is there in a single line. Code equal to 1 created by Cloud Pandit. Okay, content, so contact by Mr. Contact. So this is the number, and manufacture year 2006, and the sort order is standard. Okay, but if you look at this particular data, right, so what you are able to understand here, each record is available in a single row. Okay, so in a single line, entire record is there. So this is second record, this is third record, this is a normal JSON file. Let's go with multi-line JSON file. You see, multi-line JSON file means user ID is one, first name equal to here, last name equal to this, phone number equal to this, email address equal to this, and user ID 2 and Rax, Jackson, and this is a phone number, some cloudpandit.com. So you see, this is the first customer details. This first customer details spreaded across multiple lines. This is second customer details. This second customer details spreaded across multiple lines. Okay. As of now, any questions? Please respond quickly because we started little bit late today. Abhishek, can you speak, friends? Netra, clear? Devender, Manohar.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you all then. Let's move on and we will see the syntaxes. Okay. So for reading JSON file, normal JSON file into data frame, so this is how you can able to read. Okay, spark.read.format JSON, and I want to load this particular JSON file from this particular path. So here you see I'm just mentioning a single file name, meaning you are reading a single file. Let's say another syntax. Here you see I'm just mentioning up to directory. So if you are mentioning up to directory means in that particular directory, if you have multiple files, you can able to read the multiple files. So I'm not using any extra option. So spark.read.format JSON, and I'm loading it from this particular location. But I want to provide schema explicitly. You just have to use this spark.read.format. This is the JSON schema of S, and I want to load this particular file from this location. We know there are two syntaxes. This is one of the syntax, that is spark.read.format of JSON. Another syntax we know, right? Spark.read.json, and you need to pass the location of the file. Okay, spark.read.json, and you need to pass the location of the file. Okay, clear? So this is the another syntax. We also know one more syntax, right? Total we know two syntax. This is one. Another one is spark.read.json. To that particular JSON function, we need to pass the location of the file or location of the directory. Okay, clear? This is the way in if you want to read a normal JSON file. So this is the syntax, friends. Now let's see if you want to read multi-line JSON file into data frame. So this is the only option. You need to use something like this option, multi-line equal to true. Multi-line is true. So this is I'm reading a single file. Let's say here I'm trying to read entire directory. In a directory I have multiple multi-line JSON files. So all those multi-line JSON files I can able to read. Only thing is I need to provide my location is up to directory, and option is multi-line true. Next, here you see I'm just providing the schema for my JSON file here. Multi-line JSON file. For that multi-line JSON file, I'm providing the schema. Okay, so this is how you need to read the multi-line JSON file. Now let me show you how you can write the data. See, this is how you need to write the data. df.write.mode. So mode is overwrite and format is JSON, and I want to save this particular data into this location. Okay, this is overwrite mode. Suppose if you want to write append mode, we know append format is JSON, and into this particular location I want to save this content. Okay, any questions as of now? Or everybody's good, friends? Devender, clear? Manohar? Okay, fine. Let me. Okay, thank you. See, these are the slides I have. Let me just create the Azure Databricks. So let's open our portal, portal.azure.com. Okay, let's click on Azure Databricks. Click add to create the Azure Databricks workspace here. Free trial. So let me create a new resource group here. You see I have some other resource group, but I want to create a new resource group. Okay, the resource group I can say Cloud Pandit Databricks Master Program. Okay, click OK. Now workspace name you can say Cloud Pandit ADB workspace, and I want to launch it in East US, and I want to go with pricing type. We discussed about all these things. Click networking. So I don't have my own virtual network. I want to launch it in default network. Then you have to select no, because yes means you are going to select your own virtual network here, but I don't have that, so I'm going with no. Click tags. If you have any key value pairs, you can give created by environment and which team is working, data science or data engineering, such type of key value pairs you can give. Then click preview plus create. It is validating. Validation succeeded, you can create it. Okay, so like meantime, what we can do is I will show you the data. Let's go to Cloud Pandit data sets. You see your JSON files. Here you see this is the tomorrow session, nested session. So let's focus on this one, normal JSON files. Okay, let me open this, edit with Notepad++. You see here, I have total 6 records. See code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a same another file cpjson2. It has code from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so here there are two cases. One is if you want to take these numbers as a integer, okay, then you need to remove this double quote. If you want to consider these numbers as a string, you need to keep this double quote. Okay, this is your, where is the cp? Okay, this is first file, this is your second file. Okay, let me bring this first file here. So this is your first file, this is second file. You see in first file you have records from code 1 to 6. In second file you have a codes from 7 to 12. So now what I wanted to do, let's do one thing. Let's remove these double quotes. If you remove these double quotes, this particular code column will be considered as a like integer. Otherwise, it will be considered as a string. So I removed these double quotes for these numbers in first file. Same thing I need to do it from here as well. Let me do that. I hope everybody is clear, right? What I'm trying to do. Okay, that is up to you, friends. So I'm just why I'm removing, because we have all other columns, we have a like string. See, even for years also I kept double quotes. For phone number also I kept double quotes. For numbers also, if you keep double quotes, everything will be a string. So I don't want to maintain all the columns are going to be string. So instead of that, at least some columns I need to enable to something integer. For that, I enabled all these things. Okay, even what we can do is, let's go with this phone number. This phone number also let me enable to something long. Okay, I don't want to maintain as a string. Debashish and rest of the people, can you respond? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to do here? Just why I'm trying to modify this data set. You understood, friends? So same thing I need to do it here. Okay, thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Nita. Because if you put double quote, everything will be considered as a string. So I don't want to consider everything a string. Okay, so that's why these two things I'm marking as a something different data types. So while editing, be careful, because if something goes wrong, and things will go wrong. Okay, fine. Now we are good. We edited these two files. We have a cpjson2, cpjson1. Okay. Okay, these two files we have. Let's go and modify multi-line JSON1 and multi-line JSON2. We will see now. You see here, user ID anyhow integer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And next you open this multi-line JSON2. Here also you see user ID is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. This phone number, if you want to modify to normal thing, you can able to do. So very simple way that you can do is you can do something like this. Here you say this particular place I want to replace with 89044. Just to select the center content, replace. So if you replace, you will get see normal plain. In this CP multi multi JSON 1 dot JSON, in this file also I will apply same thing. Because I thought of doing all these things there itself, but because I want you people to understand this JSON file formats and all those things. So in front of you, I am doing this modification. Okay. Now you see this column and this column data type is not going to be a string now. So this column data types are going to be something different. It will be integer. This will be a long. Okay. So now all the data is ready for us. Let's see now. So our Azure Databricks workspace is also ready. Just click on go to resource. Let's click on launch workspace. Let's wait some time. Okay, our Databricks workspace is opened. Okay, so first thing we know, we need to create the cluster. Come to clusters, click create cluster. Okay, here cluster name we need to provide. So how you will provide a cluster name? So cluster name how we'll provide is you just give the Cloud Pandit demo, and we know standard high concurrency are the multi-node cluster. Okay, single node cluster I want to go, so you can select the single node. So these two are multi-node cluster. Multi-node cluster means you will have a auto scaling will enable, and you can mention min worker node, max worker node, all those things we discuss. Let's go with single node. Pool to start our cluster quickly. I'm not using the Databricks runtime. It's nothing but a core component that we are installing on this particular node. So this node configuration is 14 GB. And if I'm not submitting any job on this node for about 60 minutes, I will configure it to 60. Then this node will go into the shutdown mode. Okay, let's click create cluster. Now click on workspace, create the folder here. This folder name is Cloud Pandit. In this create, let's create a notebook directly. This notebook basically I will create for JSON. Okay, so it's read write JSON. Okay, so today I'm not going to do like how we have done previously. So I will upload one by one. Okay, so that you will have clarity. I'm not sure whether you are getting clarity or not. That's why what I'm trying to do is first I will finish with normal JSON file, everything. Once we finish everything with the normal JSON file, then I will create a folder again. Then I will upload the multi JSON files into the another folder. Okay, let's attach this notebook to cluster. Confirm it. Okay, so cluster is coming up. So we know in our base folder we will not have any data. How to verify whether we have any content or subfolders in our base folder? Click dbfs tables. So you don't have anything. So this is the your like base path. Take this base path, come back, click on db2start.ls. So we know if we query it on this, so you see it is saying waiting for cluster to start, finding the instances for new nodes. So now it is going to identify the instance which is available. So once it acquire the instance, then it is going to start the instance. That's why we are going to use the pool. What pool is going to do? Pool is going to keep the servers available for you. So whenever you want to start the cluster quickly, you can able to get the servers from the pool. Okay. Fine. So meanwhile, let me just form the queries, all the syntaxes. We know the first way to read the file is normal JSON file. I will focus normal JSON file. So spark.read.json, and here I need to pass the file path. Okay, file path. Okay, this I will assign to a df, and I can say df.show. Okay. This is normal. And what is this file path? File path means once I upload my single file, that single file path I need to put it here. This is the first syntax. So what is the another syntax? Another syntax is same file path. Instead of .json, we are going to use format of JSON, and I want to load the file from this path, file path. This is a variable you are going to pass it. Okay. Same syntax will work even for the multiple files. Here, only thing is location will change. Okay, just take this path. Okay, let's say here I can say here working with okay, working with single JSON file. Okay, so these two cells basically I will use to work with the single JSON file. Now I will use for the two cells to, like, what you can do is working with multiple JSON files. Same syntax we need to use. You see, I'm not going to do anything. I'll just put the same syntax. Only the difference is file path you are going to change while you are reading the single file, while you are reading the multiple files, but code is same. Okay, so now you see our cluster is up, and what it is saying in your base path, you don't have any content. So what I wanted to do is I want to open a new cell here to create the one folder. I will create the one folder here, /tables. Here you can say JSON1. Okay, so it's not a ls, it should be mkdirs, because we need to create the folder, make the directory. Sending to cluster. It is created. Now you can just click tables to verify this. So this came. Now in the same way, I will use a same syntax to create the another folder, that is JSON2. In this JSON2, I will upload the multiple files. Okay. So let's see whether it is available or not. So it is available. Okay, it is available. Now this particular output I want to write. This particular output I want to write. That's why I will create a something called JSON output. This is a folder I will create now. Okay, this is also created. Now you verify. Please be in mute, friends. Okay, JSON1, JSON2, JSON output. Okay, now just click on data to upload the data. Add data. We know. Select the folder. So my file one I will upload into JSON1. Browse it. So let's upload cpjson1. This single file I am uploading into this path. So take this path. This is the path I need to use in my notebook. Where you need to use this? So where you are working with single file. So in this case, I need to put this path. Okay, now go to data again, add data, select another folder, that is JSON2, and I want to browse this to upload the two files. Okay, now you understood, right? In this particular, this file is not uploaded. This is still uploading. Yeah, this is uploaded. Now you see the common path for these two files is this particular folder JSON2. You just have to copy till there. Go to your notebook, come down. You see, you just have to give your file path here. Okay. Now we'll try to read one by one. We'll see. I'll just try to read this data. So this is the first like one syntax. This is the another syntax I am using, but there is no change. So you'll have only 6 records you will be able to read. Okay. Here also we have 6 records we are able to read. What is this? This is the cpjson1. You can see cpjson1. This is the file we read it. This is the file we read it. Okay. Now you see if you have any doubt, cpjson1. Now I have cpjson1 and cpjson2 in this particular directory. So I will try to read entire directory. Now you see how it will look like. See, like you are getting 1 to 6 records, then you are getting 7 to 12 records. So total records you are getting. Now we will discuss about how you can order these particular column values and all those things. But this syntax also you can use to read the multiple JSON files. Okay, now I want to read, whether it's a single file, whether it's a multiple files, doesn't matter. I want to read this particular multiple files. I want to read with my own schema, meaning user defined schema I want to use for that. Okay, how to use the user defined schema, I will discuss. So what you need to do for that is come here. You need to stay here. Like s equal to struct type. Okay. So list of the values, meaning in this list you need to pass the all that struct fields. What is meant by struct field? Each column is going to be one field. So you have to say struct field. Come here. So this is your code. So just say here it's a code. Next thing is go up here, expand this. You see by default it is saying it is a long. When you read these multiple files, the default schema is code is long. Okay, now I want to bring it as a integer type. Okay, next, will it allow null values or not? True, I'm saying it will allow null values. Next one is put comma. What is your next column? Your next column is something sort order. It's a basically string type. So you just copy this column name, come down and say it's a sort order, and the data type is string type. You need to mark it as a string type. It will allow null values or not? Yes, it will allow null values. Take this. Next, go up contact. Contact is what? Long again. So come down, you just put it here, contact. So the data type here is it's a long. It is saying long, right? So I am also going to give it as a long only. Next, I hope you are able to understand. If you're not able to understand, please tell me. See, created by is string type. So I will give it give here it as a created by. I will give the data type is string type. Okay, next. My last one is manufacture here. Manufacture here is a string. Why string? Because all those years we enclosed with double quotes. That's why it is string type. Okay. So we are able to set only modification that I have done is instead of long type. See, your code is long type. I modified it to integer type. And I need to provide that particular schema, user defined schema. How you will provide here? What you need to do? You need to just say option info. Sorry, option schema equal to yes. Okay. So, but all these types you need to import from Pyspark SQL. Okay, Pyspark SQL types from this particular place you need to import it. What you need to import? Just have to import the structured type, then you need to import the struct field, then string type you need to import, integer type you need to import, then long type you need to import. Okay, let's try to read the data now. You see the here the data type. So what it is considering by default, it is considering long only. Even though I have given integer, it is considering long. Okay, 1 second. Now let's try to give it as a string. Check it now whether it is reflecting or not. So it is not changing. What is the problem? Why it is not changing? Yes is fine. Let's say different way. Let me go. Schema equal to yes. Let's execute it. See, now it changed. It's a string, it's long. Okay, so now I will mark this one as integer type. Okay, now you execute it. See, it is working integer. Okay, only thing is instead of using option, I am keeping it as schema equal to s here. Okay, clear friends? Next. So if you are using another type of syntax, example, you are using this syntax. Okay, so you are using this syntax, how you will define, how you can provide this schema when you are using this particular syntax. Now I will check. Okay, I will show you. Here you just have to say schema equal to yes for this also. Okay, bring that schema. Actually, even if this schema is defined in this cell, and if you try to refer that schema here, it will work, but I don't want to confuse you. That's why I'm bringing this entire schema definition into this cell, and I'm using this schema equal to s. Now you see the data types here also, you see integer, string, long, string. Now this integer I will convert into long type. Okay, let's execute it and check. Okay, it's coming as a long type, meaning it's working. Okay, clear? Everybody's clear, friends?
Malaya,
Tell me.
is it possible to increase the size, font size? Like I have some site, I'm unable to see the letters.
Are you connected from mobile?
No, laptop only.
Like, let me just do it here.
Actually, I have some site problem. Small letters can't appear.
Okay, fine. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let me know, friends, if you need like any kind of help. Okay. When you see JSON and schema equal to S. But now we know one thing, right? So this option should work. Why that option is not working, we need to explore now, because we cannot just leave that, right? So let me check why that is not working. This schema should work here. Here I will use option. Schema equal to S. Okay. Let's remove this schema from S. Let's execute df.show. But what is the data types? Long, string, long. So it is not impacting. Let's say schema equal to option schema. Oh, okay. We know, right? What, friends? It's not an option. It should be schema of S. Okay, schema of S dot load. Now it should work. Okay, perfect. Integer, string, long, string. Okay, this will work. Only thing is, so like I just forgot. So you have to use schema or something like this. Schema of S. Okay, now you see it's working. Okay, clear? Okay, now everybody's clear, friends. So schema of S and load file path. So it is also working. Now what I want to do, like, so let's imagine we have this df. This df I want to write it into particular path. Okay, we'll see how to write this particular output into particular path. You see, this is the data frame which has the data. If you want, you can verify that df.show. Here you have a like from records 1 to 12 code. You can verify 1 to 12. You have these records. I want to write it. Okay, where you want to write df.write dot format is JSON. Okay, in which mode you want to write? So you can mention the mode is here. Let's go with append mode. Okay, and I want to save the data. This data I want to save. Where you want to save this data? I want to save this data in file store /table/ JSON output. Okay, so this is the folder I want to write the data. Okay. So once I write the data, again what I need to do, I need to read the data from same path. So for that, let's keep this. Okay, let me just remove the results, clear results. See, now you don't have results, let's say. So see, from same path I want to read the data. Spark dot read dot JSON. It's anyhow like normal JSON, you don't need to use any option, just read it. So now if you try to read it, you will not be able to read anything because you don't have any data in it. That's why it is saying unable to infer schema for JSON. Now this data I'm writing, it's in a append mode. I'm writing data in append mode. Let's read this data. You see you have records from 1 to 12. Append means what, friends? To the existing data you are going to add the new data. For the existing 12 records, you are going to add 12 more records. Total how many records? 24 records. You will see now, like you see, total records will come here. Okay. So it is showing only top 20 records, but you see, you just do one thing. You can assign to some DFC, and you can say DFC.count. I want to get the count. You will see total 24 records will have. Okay, now again I will append the data. I appended. How many records will have? You will have like 36. Now I will go with overwrite. Now I need answer from you. I am writing overwrite mode. How many records I will have when I read the data? Please tell me, friends. How many records I will have when I read the data? Very good, Abhishek. You are wrong. Just think and tell me. Think and tell me, friends. Everybody. How many records we have in DF? Only 12 records. So when you overwrite the data, what happens? All the existing 36 records will be removed and it will write only 12 records. You see, you will have only 12 records. Okay, you have only 12 records. Clear? Now this is the one syntax to write the data, but we have another syntax to write the data. What is that another syntax? You can use df dot write dot mode is, you can say mode is overwrite. Directly you can say, instead of save format and all those things, you can directly say in JSON format I want to save data into this path. Okay, now we know how many records we have in this path. Currently we have 12 records. Now instead of overwrite, let's go with append mode. So now you will see, if you read the data, how many records you should be able to get. How many records we should be able to get? Netra, Abhishek, Manohar, Devender, Devashish, respond. How many we will get? 24. Okay, again now if I say again overwrite, how many we will get? We will get only 12 records. We will get only 12 records. You can see we will get only 12 records. Okay, I hope everybody is clear with normal JSON file, right? Is it clear to all of you, friends? Okay, let me just export this file and share it with you later. Okay, that is okay. Now just click on workspace. Let's create another notebook. Okay, this notebook is basically for read, write, multi-line JSON. Okay, so in which language? On Python, by using this cluster created. Clear? So here again we need to do the same things from the beginning. Okay, here dbutils dot fs dot. Let's list down the content which we have on the base folder. File store slash tables executed. So you know you have JSON1, JSON2, JSON output. Now I want to create 3 more folders. Okay, dbutils dot. So suppose if you don't want these folders, you want to remove all these existing folders for now. So what you can do, we know, right? Remove command. So rm remove. This remove command will remove the files. Okay, to remove the files, all these subfolder. So instead of removing one subfolder, let's try to remove tables directory itself. Okay, true. Now you see, if you try to list down, it will say this file not found. Okay, file not found exception because this tables directory itself not available. Now I need to quickly change. I need to create the tables directory first. dbutils.fs.mkdirs. Here I need to say file store /tables. Okay, just let's create this. Okay, we created successfully. If you see now, it will say there is no data in this particular base path. So in this path, I want to create again 3 folders. That is like basically for multi JSON one. Okay, multi JSON one, multi-line JSON. Okay, simple name I am giving multi JSON 2 and multi JSON output. Okay, these are the 3 folders I'm creating. mkdirs created. Now let's list down the content. You see multi JSON 1, multi JSON 2, multi JSON output. Okay, so we have created a script previously, right? Same thing. Only thing is this time spark.read.json. Okay, let's say here you can say working with single multi-line JSON file. Multi-line JSON file. Okay. So first syntax you can use here, and you can say df equal to df.show. So we need to define the file path or file location. You can say file path. So that particular file path we need to put it here. This variable I need to pass it to this particular JSON. Okay. What is the difference between normal JSON and this multi-line JSON? So I will show you. Okay. So till here, this is the same syntax which we have used for normal JSON. So let's use same syntax as of now. Here you can say format is JSON. You can say load. I want to load from file path. Okay. This is for the single file. Okay, I want to do same thing for multiple files. Okay, you can say working with multi-line JSON files. Okay, what you need to do, same syntax you can put it here. So I need to modify all the syntax because this is a normal JSON syntax, but for multi-line JSON, what that option, extra option that we need to use, where to use, that I will explain. So meanwhile, we have created this syntax. Let's upload the data and bring the locations of the files. Okay, let's select now. Let's select multi JSON 1. Save it. Okay, let me just upload it. Okay, after upload I will do that. Browse it again. Now I need to upload this file cp multi JSON 1. Okay, next. So this is the single file path. Take this, click on license, click on this multi-line JSON. Here I need to provide the file path. Okay, single file, right? Single file means only this particular path I need to give you. Now go to data again, add data. I need to select now multi JSON 2. Save it, browse it. Let's upload these 2 files, open it. Now what is the common path for these 2? So this is the common path for these 2. Take this, click on reasons, click on this multi-line. Okay, come down. So in these 2 places you need to put this particular path till the directory. Okay, now we'll try to read this particular JSON file, multi-line JSON file. Oh sorry, it's df, some mistake. Read it. So what it is saying, the queries from raw JSON CSV files are disabled when, okay, when that particular message is not clear. Where you can see full messages, come down, you can see disallowed when the reference column only include the internal corrupt record. Why it is saying corrupt record? Because your data is splitted or spreaded across multiple lines, but you are trying to tell Spark that my record is available in a single row. That is not true. While reading the Spark realized that so data is not in a proper format, and it is considering those records as a corrupted records. So now what you need to do is you need to use the option. You can say option here, or you can say here multi-line equal to true and execute it. See, you are able to read this 1, 2, 3, 5 records. Now in this particular syntax also, you just have to use the option. This option you need to say. See, by default, if you try to read, you will not be able to read. See here also. See, corrupted records. Oh, what happened? See here, corrupted records string. Okay, you got something called corrupted record string. So what it means is your data is not a proper format. Your data is spread across multiple lines. We know that's why it is saying corrupted record. Okay, that's why it is saying corrupted record. What you need to do for that is you need to say, just to avoid that error, here you need to say multi-line to true. See, this corrupted record value will go now. Okay, just execute this. What is this again? DF. It should be DF. That's why I think. See, previously when we have not used this, I was printing like top query. See here, this is saying the queries from raw JSON CSV files are not tailored. Okay, the reason is same. Include the internal corrupt records column. You have some corrupt record. The reason is this data is spread across multiple lines, but you are trying to read it in a single line. So now you need to add this option multi-line true, and I want to load data from this particular location. This is a single file. You read it, it is working fine. The same, come here. So now you are going to deal with the multiple files, okay, which you have in this directory. Now you see, just read it, you will get same error here also, same error, because we know this data is spread across multiple lines. You just have some multi-line equal to true, you will get total 10 records. Now you see, to see friends, total 10 records you can able to see. Okay, now same thing, come down. So this syntax also you can use here also, you'll get same error. So to avoid that, what you need to do, you need to use this particular option multi-line equal to true. If you use this, okay, you will be able to read the data. You will be able to read the data. You see total 10 records you are able to get it. Okay. Now I want to provide the user defined schema. I want to provide the user defined schema for this. While I am reading, I want to provide the user defined schema. So you can see here, currently what is the schema? Currently, what is the schema? You can see a string, everything is string. Only this particular thing is long. Only user ID is long, we know, right? So now when I define my user defined schema, that particular column value also I will consider as a string. Okay, this particular column value, user ID also I will consider as a string. We'll see that. So before that, you know, s equal to structure type, okay, list. You need to say here struct. So this should be capital S. Struct field, and first column name you need to give. So anyhow, I said all my data types are going to be string type. So you can say string type, and all my columns will allow null value. So total how many columns we have? You can see a total we have 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here, friends, if you have any doubt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. So 5 columns we have. So 5 structure fields you need to take. So I said I will consider all the columns as a string type. So I'm just declaring something like this, and I need to provide the column names here. So email address is going to be my first column name. So there is some easiest way that you can do it directly, okay, instead of copying all these things one by one. I will explain that. First name. See, it is very, very difficult if you try to copy everything, something like this. Here also this should be enclosed with double quotes. This is column name, right? So next, go up, bring this last name. Next, phone number. Sorry. Screen is getting stuck. One second. Okay, so my next column here is, it is hanging just. Okay. So our final column is user ID. Just copy this user ID. Down. Okay, so this is the structure field. So we need to import all those things. Let's import from Pyspark .sql .types import, like you can say struct type struct field then string type. So because we are just using the string type here, we are not using any type, any other type. Okay, let's try to read this data. See, I'm just reading this data. Structure type. Oh, we imported a string type multiple times. It should be, you can import the structure type here. So you can see structure type. Okay, let's read this data. So if you remember, I have not used my schema here. That's why I will get here string, but user ID is long. Now I will include my schema. So schema of s dot load. Okay, with other syntax, how you can do that, I explained in our previous notebook. Okay, see string. So it is working. This df data, I want to write it into my output folder. Okay, how you can write df dot write dot. You can use any of the syntax. Mode is, I can say it's append mode. I want to write JSON. Like you can say it's a file store slash tables slash multi JSON output. So multi JSON output. In this folder, I want to write the data. Let's execute this. So we know how many records we have in this. We have total 10 records. So when I have written those 10 records into this folder, we will try to read this as a JSON to read those 10 records. Or let's just simply take the count. Okay, it will helpful. It will give you more clarity for us. Okay, it's a 10. You let's append data again. Now it will become, the count will become now 20. Okay, now again I will go with append. So now the count will become 30. Okay, now I will go with overwrite. What will happen? The count will become now what? Can you tell me? What is the count now? Count will be 10 now. You see, count will become 10. Yeah, correct. Okay. Any questions, friends? Okay. So tomorrow we will see like how you can use the nested JSON files and how you can explore the like nested JSON file values and how you can create a multiple columns. Okay, all those transformations also we will do, because this JSON file is very, very important, because in most of the time we use REST APIs for like getting the data. So when you make a REST API calls, you will get data in a JSON format. You need to handle those things. Nested JSON file, nested JSON data also you will get it. Okay, in that result. So we need to handle all the data. So we will see how you can do those things. But any questions? Let me stop the recording.